Hi, I'm Chris Roberts. I'm the organiser of the British 4-Cross series. 4-Cross is mountain bikes, so it's 26-inch wheels. They can have front suspension, rear suspension. They normally have about 7 or 8 gears, disc brakes, and they're just so much more robust than a little BMX. So they can take the big hits and they can tackle all the rough terrain. It's pretty exciting stuff. We've got 4 riders, bar to bar, elbow to elbow, racing down the track. They start from a hydraulic gate. It's a random start. So they fire at that gate, and it's just over the jumps, around the berms. Obviously, there's a bit of thrills and spills in there with crashes where riders catch each other or get wrong on a jump and go over the bar. So it's all pretty action. It's like start to finish, like the 4 riders just bar to bar racing. Where BMX is a lot more smoother, groomed tracks, little wheel bikes. 4-Cross has got bigger wheels, bigger bikes, so we can do rougher courses. A lot of the courses we do sort of like on snow piste around the country. And it's basically 4 riders start, and it's basically knockout heats, so top 2 fastest riders go through to the second round and on to the quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals. 4-Cross started as a World Cup sport around about 2003. At the same time, we then started a British series, which I did 5 rounds in 2003. We roughly get about 60 riders in 2003. It's now 2012 and we're getting about 180 riders to each race. We're basically doing 6 weekends in a year in the UK. We've also got like a European series and also a new Proto World Cup series. At the moment the sport's very buoyant. I mean the UCI dropped 4-Cross and World Cups, but we've now replaced that with a new 4-Cross Pro Tour. But the British series has just been growing year on year in numbers. Like I say, a few years ago we used to get 60 riders. Today we're up to nearly 200 riders racing today. So this time last year we probably had about 160, 170 riders here. So the numbers are up. This being quite close to a town, there's like quite a lot of local people out come to watch. So there's lots of new riders coming this year. We've lost a few riders that raced last year for whatever reason, but we've got quite a new guys coming through to replace them. So the sport we've got is, I think, really on the up at the moment. Yeah, for this type of event, I mean, a hell of a lot of work goes into the track to prepare the track, building the track and maintaining it. So a lot of time is into that. Also, there's lots of permissions from the local councils and local health and safety to get through. We also have like the start gate that the riders start from. We have to transport that around the country, which is a big trailer to shift that around. We have got a great team of people that help. We've got like the start and call up. Mark and Sue, they do a fantastic job calling the riders up and doing the start. We've got the finish line girls. Every weekend they're there, making sure everyone finishes correctly in the right order so we get all the correct results. Yeah, so I mean, with this year we've got the Pro Elite categories, like the top category of professional riders. We've had quite a few guys from the juniors come up into the elite category this year. We've also got Thomas Slavic, the 2011 4-Cross World Champion. He's come across from Czech, especially just to race this race as a pre-season race before the first Pro Tour race in Belgium in 2 weeks' time. But he knows that we have got a massive series over here, and he just really wanted to come over and take part and have fun in the series really, and just meet the UK people. But he says he's really enjoying the racing. It's great fun, so much bigger than Czech, and he can't wait for to get on the podium at the end.
So my name is Tomáš Slavík. I'm from Czech Republic and I'm a 2010 world champion. Basically 4-Cross is just something in between downhill riding and BMX. So we have to combine both skills. It's in fact it's just 4 guys going down the hill on big jumps, big berms, rock sections. You know, pretty much the most interesting thing what you can have on a mountain bikes in 1 hour. It's just, the race takes just 1 hour, so it's pretty much the best thing about the racing. So okay, we are in Leamington Spa. It's the first race of British 4-Cross series. Just the first race of the season. Also that's the reason why I came here, because it's the only race before the first race of the World Series race. So yeah, in fact that's pretty cool track here, good weather. I think it's gonna be pretty good action today. Yeah, the track it's more similar to the BMX tracks than to the rougher tracks where we're used to race on the World Series races. But still there is some lines for passing, and there is lots of guys. As you can see, there is over 200 riders here, so everybody is just trying to wants to be the world champion. So I take it like a challenge, so hopefully I'll came out well out of it, and maybe I'm gonna win it. We'll see. I'll try my best. Yeah, I've been practicing here 3 times. I'm here already 2 weeks in UK, so we've been here for 3 times, and yeah, just trying new lines, trying the crazy combination what nobody has done here, and I think it's just the key here. The key here is the most important thing is just to have a good gait, because yeah, as I said, there is not many lines here for passing, but we'll see, maybe. Yeah, the best thing about 4-cross for me personally is just a big jump, just the feeling of flying high and far, and the racing 4 guys going downhill in 16 kilometers an hour, elbow to elbow, is just so much adrenaline, and that's what I need. It's like car needs to gas, I need adrenaline. That's just the most important thing for me. Yeah, through my head, that's funny thing, because I don't even don't know what's even going on in my head. I'm just so much focused on having a good gait, taking good lines in the turns, that I don't even know what's going on in my head. It's just a process which I cannot program. It just go by itself, and when somebody is shouting on me on a track, I just don't hear it. Just going, I'm just in my mind, and that's the thing about the racing. You just locked in your head, and that's all. You don't hear, you don't feel. When you finish first, it just you always super stoked, happy that all the hard work was worth it, and that's what everybody comes for. Everybody's trying to be the best and be the winner of the heat or winner of the race or series, and that's great feeling. Who never done it, will never understand. It's just different kind of feeling. And if you lose, if you're last in the finish line, that's hard one. That's hard knock. If you train hard all the winter and you just didn't make it, that's really frustrating. But sometimes it's make you go faster for next races.
The first half an hour gate practice is for riding the number boards 251 and above.
My name is Bernard Kerr, I'm 21 years old, my number's 53 and I ride in the Pro Elite class. Well, 4-cross really, it's a cross between downhill and BMX racing, so you have 4 people instead of 8. And basically goes down a hill on a course with drops, jumps, corners, and multi-split lines. So different riders can choose different lines to try and overtake each other. And really, it's a fast-paced racing. It normally lasts from 30 seconds to 50 seconds at the average track, really. So all the riders obviously sign in, and then depending on how many you have, it just puts you into moto brackets. So it's computer generated or whatever. It's just complete random select. You put 4 in each race. You have 3 races. And depending on where you come, you go into quarterfinals and semi-finals, and 2 go through. The winning 2 out of the quarterfinals go through to the semi, and the winning 2 out of that go into the final against the 2 from the other race. So you have the 4 in the final. I've been riding now 9 years odd, and it was my cousin. I used to race motocross, and I played ice hockey, and then he liked it, so I got into it. I did my first race, which I won. So ever since then, I loved it. But I ride a lot of downhill as well as 4-cross. I do both. Lately I've been doing a lot more of the downhill, but I brought my little brother along to here, so I thought I'd do a bit of 4-cross again. So fast paced, and you're going bar to bar with other people just trying to prove that you're faster. Against the clock's fun, but 4-cross, there's someone there and you're trying to get past, you're trying to keep them behind, and riding in general, it's just, I don't think there's a feeling really like it. It's your thing, everyone has their own thing, and riding for me is that thing where you're having so much fun, and a good day like today where it's sunny, and when you're flowing down a track just effortlessly and just hitting all the jumps good, turns, it's amazing. I guess my thought is just that I'm gonna get out front, the gate's coming, I'm going to get out the gate, I'm going to cut across, like whether it's left to right, I'm going to be in front of everyone, and I'm going to ride my line all the way down, smoothing as fast as I can, you know? Like, sometimes I get nervous, but I kind of like pressure, I quite like it, so I get excited, I guess, and just can't wait to get it done. The best, when you cross the finish line in first place, there's nothing. I think that's why you put all the hours in of practice and training and everything, you know? It all pays off when you cross that finish line in first. It's just nothing like that, really. We train like at the gym and then out on road bikes as well. Like, you got to put a lot of time in, like gym to get the strength and road bike for cardio and stuff, you know, and then also on top of that, you got to go to the tracks and practice riding, and then dirt jumps to practice jumps good, and then I do the downhill, so I'm there. But a lot of the bike skills, like crossover, like I ride motorbikes as well, but it's such good training to cross over back and forth. But like you say, it takes a lot of time out, like your social life, you know. I don't really go out that much at night or do too much drinking, but personally this is what I enjoy, and it's worth it. Yeah, I was the one that kind of started it, and now my little brother does it as well, and my mother's marshalling here just because then you get free entry. So yeah, like most of the family don't know. My older brother rides motocross, but me and my little brother ride this, and he rides BMX, I do downhill. But yeah, once there's bikes in the house, I guess you were kind of like, oh, well, I'll have a go and stuff, so kind of how it goes. If you're riding four cross and downhill, you're out every weekend, you know. Like, I got back 2 weeks ago, we were in South Africa, we had a World Cup there for downhill, and you get back and then you could be racing the next weekend, every weekend, and then now and again you get like every other weekend off, or you get 2 weekends off, but then you got 5 weeks straight or whatever. So there's a lot of it and a lot of traveling. Like, the next races we go to Italy, and we have to be in Scotland the weekend after, so a lot of traveling involved. I'd like to be in the final, you know, try and get on the podium. I know I can. I've used to be quite a high standard at these races, but I've just got a bike with one gear today when you should really have like a few gears to change gears to be on a fair playing field with everyone. But I haven't got one of those new bikes sorted yet, because this is my jump bike, so it's being a bit harder for me, but I'd like to be on the podium in the final.
I'm Anna Carpenter, I'm 19 and I'm racing in the women's category. I've pretty much been riding all my life. My dad has a big, he's got a big influence in the sport, and he used to run his own downhill races in South Wales, so he's got me into it. And then I do four cross for some training. Did my first four cross race 4 years ago, I think, and then yeah, I've done a couple since then. They're good fun. Last year I was still doing my A-levels, so did as much training as I could for the downhill races. That's what my main focus is, and pretty much focused the whole year on the Junior World Championships in Champfrey in Switzerland last year. So yeah, I did the training that I could. It's kind of hard with school, but did what I could, and yeah, managed to pull it off and get the championship title last year. Didn't get it in 2010 because I broke my arm the weekend before. I was hoping to get it then, but so there was a bit of pressure last year because it was my last chance to get the junior title. But yeah, it pulled it off in the end. We're in Leamington Spa. Pretty good weather, it's sunny. Got the first national round, first four cross national round. Yeah, it's pretty good fun. We've got lots of riders here, loads of elite riders, pretty stacked field. Yeah, got a good turnout. Weather's good, everyone's having a good time. Yeah, it's good to race the track. There's a lot to think about. You got to pick the right line into the corners, depending on who's around you and who's coming up behind you. Yeah, it's pretty fast, dusty, as you said. There's a few sketchy parts where it goes from dust to tarmac, and everyone's having a good drift on there. Yeah, so it's fast, lots of pedalling. It's pretty much like a BMX track. So there's lots of BMXers here doing well. Lots of jumps, fast. Yeah, you got to get all your lines right to get the pro lines and to get the right lines. You know, it's hard. You got to be precise. Pretty much kind of deciding all the kind of what ifs and outcomes, because you never really know what's going to happen as soon as the gate goes down. So you've got to have a few options in the first corner. Yeah, you can go left or you can go right, and there's benefits of each. So kind of thinking about that, kind of just trying to focus on listening to the beeps so you can go as soon as you can. So no, really, quite a lot goes through your mind, I think, and then you just got to focus and go. me coming from a downhill background, I haven't got the best starts. I'm trying to do my best, but I think there's a bit of catching up to do in the first straights. It does help if you get out of the gate first because you can decide where you're going. But you got a few jumps, you got some time to make up before the first corner. And then equally, riding the track's just as important. Got to get everything right, hit everything smooth, yeah, carry your speed. So far I've won all my motos. There's a few people who I haven't come up against yet, so finding out how we do. I think I've got semis in a minute, so I'll be racing them then, I'd imagine. Hoping to win. There's a few of us who are battling out, so yeah, should be quite a tight racing, but if my legs hold up at the bottom, should hopefully, fingers crossed, well yeah, podium position hopefully. Yeah, this year I'm focusing 100% on training, so I'm not working or studying or anything. So there's a lot of time spent in the gym doing weights and on like the turbo trainer in the house, where you do interval sprints at different lengths. That's pretty hard work, it's pretty painful. And yeah, it is kind of hard because if you do go out in the evening, you're normally pretty knackered from doing training that day. It's kind of hard if you want to have a night out. It's hard with training because you get worn down and then trying not to get ill and stuff, which is, yeah, yeah, you got to know when to rest up and stuff. Yeah, there's lots of training involved. Trained hard this winter, but it's paying off, so it's worth it in the end. You just got to fit in friends around that.
Hello, my name's Charlotte Green and I ride in Ladies Elite. The track's alright, it's quite dusty and dry. It would help if we had just the slightest bit of rain just to dampen it up, but it's as good as it is. Well, I started BMX when I was 4, and in the past couple of years I've got into a bit of four-cross, so I've not been doing it that long. Well, my brother started BMX when he was 7, so whatever brother does, I have to do as well. So. And then recently, in the past couple of years, I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that I could relax into and not feel any pressure whatsoever. So I thought four-cross would be a good idea, and it's pretty similar in some ways, more than others. I mean, obviously the bikes are completely different. The gating technique's the same as BMX, and the tracks are quite a lot different because they are slightly downhill, where BMX is mainly flat. My dad drives me everywhere, and it's like he's the best support that I get, and Mum comes along every now and again if she's not working. So I got my mum and dad with me today. My brother doesn't really come along anymore. He's got that little bit older, so he does his own sort of thing now. So I go to the gym two times a week. I do sprints as well, and I ride the track twice a week. My friends are really, they love to know what I've been getting up to. They always like to know my results, and yeah, they're pretty supportive. I mean, as I say, I've come here just to chill, so to me it doesn't matter what happens. I mean, I can roll down the track and still have just as much fun as trying to win, so I just take it as it comes.
I'm Lewis Lacey, 22 years old. I live in Poole, right on the south coast. Don't currently have a major deal at the moment, just got loads of help off of a few people, which is pretty cool. I've had 2 years out, so with a big ankle injury, so just trying to get back into the swing of it, and hopefully get some results this year and pick up something maybe along the year or for next season. First started riding when I was 5 in a BMX track, local BMX track in Christchurch. Just Dad took me down there and I haven't stopped since, really. Raced BMX for the last 13 years probably. So I've done all the national champs, been British champ, national champ, So they've done a big lot of that, and then they went onto the four-cross bike and enjoy riding this. A bit more extreme, a bit loose, so it's good. Yeah, BMX is obviously there's more riders, 8 riders, and this is four riders. The tracks on a BMX track is really smooth, tarmac corners. Now it's just moved into like the supercross, so the start hills are 8 meters high, and then jumps have got no middles to them, so you have to go onto that. And to be a good four-cross rider, the BMX has helped with the first straight. It's all about the 10 meters in a BMX race, so if you've got a good 10 meters in four-cross, you should be all right. It's a lot looser, a lot more looser. So BMX tracks is pretty much one line, so this is a bit wild. It seemed like a natural jump to just come onto the mountain bike. It was getting bigger and bigger, and then obviously the Olympics come into BMX, but this is a lot more. It's still really serious, but a lot more fun, if that makes sense. It's good. It's just a good laugh. Just the tracks are a bit more challenging. There's multi-lines, so for instance on this track down there we've got a couple of lines. That makes it a bit more fun. It's just you can't tell. Every time you go on a track, something's different. With a BMX, it's pretty much the same every time. Even if it's raining, with these they get cut up, or rocks appear, and the takeoffs might crumble a little bit in places. So it's just a lot more. It's a lot more extreme, really. Yeah, there's 2 lines. Not every track has it, but you've got like a more difficult line and a slightly easier one, or you got a corner inside a corner. And then just with the rock gardens or the World Cup tracks, there's just hundreds of lines through it, so it's really good in that sense. So this year we've taken it back to 3 motos. Well, last year there was 4, but a lot of people moaned about it. So basically there's 3 motos. You need to be top 2 really to qualify through. Depending on how many riders there are, it goes to quarters, semis, and then your final. And in the quarters, semis, or depending on how many riders there are, even 16ths, you need to be top 2 to qualify. And then the last 4 men, quickest of the day, and it's all for that one prize. What's on my mind is when I get to the gate, I sort of, on the gate of the race before, focus on the lights for their gate, just to visualise from ahead the gate motion, and get on the gate, and then you're zoned in. You're staring at the top of the gate, and then halfway through the voice on the gate, I often look to the left or the right, whichever side I am, to the lights, and then as soon as I see that first beep, start making my movement, and then just first corner, that's all you think about, the first one. A lot of the tracks, it's all about the good gate and then getting to the first corner. A lot of the time, if you can get to the first corner, you've pretty much got it, unless you make a big mistake or have a bit of a slide out. So yeah, it's just the first straight. It's all you think about, getting to the first corner first. The feeling's awesome. Once you've done a perfect lap, every jump, you've got every backside, every corner perfect, and if you won the race, it's a wicked feeling, especially if it's final, it's even better. Yeah, so the training I do is I do a lot of sprint work on my bike. So set out like, we got the 10 meters on the line, so you do your 10 meter sprints, and you do slightly further, and then further again, just for your endurance. Do a lot of gym work, the weights, and then the plyometrics, so just your own body weight for your explosive power. And then just a lot of endurance work, because you could be racing 6-7 races a day, depending on how many riders there are, and it's just a flat out sprint for like 40 seconds. So it's just everything you've got is just all put into that 40 seconds. It's not too bad because I've got a lot of friends that ride with me anyway. So training's pretty fun half the time. It's hard, but you've got to try and make it fun, otherwise you don't want to do it. But it doesn't, not too big an impact on my social life, so it's pretty cool. I ride pretty much every day anyway with my mates, so yeah, it's pretty cool. The motor's been going good. I nearly had a big moment in the first one, big slide out in the first corner. I managed to save it. God knows how I saved it, but rode it out. Second and third one, I won those pretty comfortable, so it's all right. Just the next one now is the quarterfinal, is when it starts getting a bit tighter. Just get through these, even if you just get second, as long as you get through, and then hopefully you make the final and open it up in the final.
Hi there, my name's Scott Beaumont. I'm the #1 rider here at the UK Full Cross race, and yeah, I ride for Yeti Cycles here in the UK. I run my own team. I have another rider, Dave Richardson, so we run Yeti Racing UK, and yeah, just enjoying the sunshine here on a beautiful day in Leamington. Okay, so I started racing when I was 4 years old on BMX bikes back in 1982, which seems an age ago now. I've been racing ever since. I raced BMX until I was 18 years old. I had a great BMX career. I won 2 BMX World Championships and numerous British Championships. And at that time, in the late 90s, mountain bike companies were looking for BMX riders to come and race mountain bikes in dual slalom and downhill and different categories in mountain bike. And BMX wasn't in the Olympics at that point. I just saw it as a great opportunity to try something new. I was still only 18 years old and still had a future in me in a different sport. So I just saw it as an opportunity, took it, and haven't looked back since. I've raced professionally ever since, and now race just solely on 4-cross. I used to race some downhill as well, but now I just focus on 4-cross. As I said earlier, 4-cross has grown so much. There's so many races now. It's very hard to do downhill and 4-cross anymore. So I focus solely all my effort on the British Series, the Euro Series, and the 4-cross Pro Tour. So I race about 22 times per year, 22 different races in those series, and just, you know, I'm 33 years old now, and I'm just loving it more than ever. You know, I'm just you know, racing every weekend, but loving my racing more than I ever have done. So yeah, life's great at the moment. So in 4-cross, the start's always a key point of the race. It's almost like there's 2 races within a 4-cross race. One is from the start gate to the first jump, and it's from the first jump to the finish line. When you line up at the back of the start, you have your name and number read out at the back, and they tell you which start position you're going to be in, lane 1, 2, 3 or 4. And you line up, and you really just try and blank everything else out. You know, you're there to race, and even though there's music and people cheering for you and stuff, you try and get into, athletes talk about a lot, the zone, you know, try and really just focus on the gate. And it's an electronic gate. The starter will press a button, and it's an electronic sequence, and the gate drops anywhere between 0 seconds and 4 seconds. Yeah, you just focus on waiting for that first beep and first light to come on. And as soon as that happens, you just explode with all your power out of the start gate. And like I say, just try and make it to that first jump first and get ahead and try and control the race. Yeah, so Chris Roberts has always organised the British 4-cross series, and I've always been good friends with Chris. And a couple of years ago, we started talking about the Euro series and developing the Euro series and getting more riders there and trying to make it a better race for everyone. And so we took on the Euro series as organisers. I was still, you know, a couple of years ago, very much just learning what was what and how races ran. I mean, I've only ever raced all my life, and to be on the other side of the tape and actually be organising is kind of a really interesting side of things for me. I've been to a lot of races, like I said, I've raced since I was 4 years old, but to actually get involved on the organising side, you realise just how much hard work goes into an event like this, and but also how rewarding it is. You know, you turn up somewhere like today and you see all the hard work in place that Chris has done. I mean, predominantly I just help out more on the Euro and the Pro Tour, on the World Series stuff, but with the British Series, you know, you can still sort of see that organiser aspect now. It's been great for me. It's been a great experience the last couple of years, and it's to see everyone smiling and happy and enjoying the race, you know, at races. It's kind of I don't know, on a weekend for me, it just gives me a second interest now. You know, it's not only am I here to like win the race and compete and get stuck in the racing, but also to, you know, actually observe from an organiser's point of view, like how riders are getting on and if people are liking the track, or, you know, the banner placements and the inflatables and all this stuff. And it's all, it's just an interesting thing for me. And like I say, my main thing this year is I'm working with Chris Roberts on the 4-cross Pro Tour, which is the new World Series of 4-cross. That's our joint venture, and yeah, we spent many sleepless nights over winter pulling that whole series together. But our first race in 2 weeks' time in Belgium, in Houffalize, and everything's in place. You know, we're pretty confident the series is going to be a great success, and we kind of see it like now, you know, we're riders and we're in it for the riders, and we think that passion should follow through, and hopefully, you know, the 4-cross Pro Tour is going to be, you know, a really big deal this year and for many years to come. Well, I think it's kind of a bit of a cheesy phrase really, but I think organically this is growing on its own. If you look around today, there's a lot more photographers, there's a lot more media guys here, a lot of guys filming, and the sport in itself is generating interest. hardtail mountain bike sales are really high here in the UK. A lot of people have hardtail bikes. They go dirt jumping or they go to BMX tracks, or a lot of hardtail bikes are out there. And I think it's getting that message across to those guys how much fun you can have here racing four-cross on a weekend, especially when the sun's shining like today. It's such a great atmosphere. You can bring the family, you can have a picnic, you can enjoy a great day's racing, you can cheer on your buddies and your friends, and it just becomes more of a, it's almost as much of a social gathering as it is, you know, an out and out, you know, focused race day, you know. A bunch of my friends are here racing for their first time, and they've come riding with us for many years, you know, BMX tracks and four-cross tracks, and they're racing in big fun category, and they're just loving it, having a great day, and there's like a battle between those guys of who's going to win and all this stuff, and I think that's the main thing for four-cross, you know. It's just getting that message out there that it's fun, there's nothing to be afraid of. I know some people are a little bit nervous of the start gate and stuff like that, but it's a case of just getting on your bike, coming to a race. You can sign on the day, the entries are always open and available, and just turn up and come and do it. And I think that's the secret, you know. Just got to get that message out there and tell everyone how much fun it is. So like I say, I'm a pro four-cross rider, so my typical week would consist of 2 hours in the gym every single day, doing obviously lots of leg work, lots of power work on my legs, also upper body as well, but I really focus a lot on my legs and try and, you know, deadlifts and leg press and squats and that kind of thing. It's all about strength and power, like we said, for the start gates and the first straight. Also a lot of stretching, a lot of flexibility, and then, you know, a lot of cross training down the gym as well, like some swimming and different, you know, different kind of things down there. And then that's my mornings. Most mornings are like that, and then come home, lots of emails to sponsors, lots of correspondence with like media and magazines and videos that you've done at the weekends and stuff, and getting all that together. And then in the afternoon I'll do a lot of skills work. I'll go to tracks and actually get on the bike and focus a lot on actual riding stuff. Lots of gate practice as well. It's something you can never do enough of. And yeah, so each day I'm training for sort of 3, 4, 5 hours every single day, and just really focus. The training is actually tailored, you know, for the races that are coming up. So it's not, you know, every day is different, and you mix it up and vary things to make sure you're ready for every race on the weekend. But yeah, lots of hours training every day, and you know, focus on getting that #1 plate back again. That's it. So when I go on my skills days, you know, in the afternoons I'll go out to tracks, and I'll go to loads of different places, lots of specific four-cross tracks. I'll go to BMX tracks and also kind of downhill and cross-country centres as well to just put the bike in a different environment. And it's all just about skill on the bike, you know. It's controlling it in the mud, in the dry, and, you know, looking at tyre choices and different things you can do. So as well as being out doing the skills, you're testing different tyres and getting used to the bike, and just really trying to get yourself as in tune as possible with the bike you're going to race on that Sunday. So yeah, just lots of variety really. It's keeping fresh and keeping things varied, and it's like a complete package that goes towards, you know, winning at four-cross races nowadays.
Elliot, 2. Joe, 3. Ben, 4.
Thomas Slavic for one, the first one man today. He's super fast. Scott Beaumont's going really well, and I think Nathan Parsons is his home track, so he's got the local advantage.
Okay, for me, there's only one guy I'm here to really, you know, race against hard, and that's Thomas Slavic. He's come all the way over here from Czech Republic. He's the 2010 four-cross world champion, and he's been staying with us for the last couple of weeks, and so we've been going out riding with him and Scott Roberts. He's been staying with the Roberts family, and he's been, you know, been going out every single day, you know, just doing different things and working together and riding together. He's a good friend of mine anyway, but the guy is really, really quick. And as I mentioned, in elites, you know, getting to his first corner first is going to be a great advantage, and he's got just one hell of a first straight on him. So my aim today is really to try and get ahead of Slavic and see if we can, you know, win the first national. But also again, because we have our first 4-cross Pro Tour in 2 weeks' time, it's gauging him and gauging where our training's at, you know, from the winter months. And so it's a great kind of, it's almost a practice day for him, you know, getting ready for the 4-cross Pro Tour. But it'd be great if I can get ahead of him today.
Okay, 4 cars again on the gate now.
I'm Jordan Lunn, I'm 17 and I ride for Identity bikes. I didn't really see myself actually riding this year 4-cross. I was going to focus on BMX, but recently breaking my wrist, it seems 4-cross was a bit of a nice way to get my wrist back to strength. And now I've won, it's kind of left me a bit of a dilemma. What do I do for the rest of the season?
Got a nice gate, tried to push across my teammate Matt Jones, so came into the first straight out in the lead, so that was really nice. Came into the first corner, had my line choice, and kind of had it laid out from there. Just had to keep it together, kind of laid off a bit near the end of the track, so I didn't make a silly mistake, because it can happen like that sometimes. Did the pro line, and I realised that Matt Jones was quite close to me, so had to have a final sprint for the line, but pushed for it and got the result I wanted. I didn't really realise, I thought I had a bit of a lead, so I guess that's why they say always pedal to the line, so it's nice to get a wheel length on him at least.
I've been riding 3 years now, started out at dirt jumping, kind of saw 4-cross advertised and looked like a great sport, kind of nice move across from dirt jumping. From then taking up BMX, which has really helped other kinds of riding, and also taking up other kinds of riding like road bikes and everything else, just to keep myself fit. It's nice riding a similar kind of bike to dirt jumping, which is where I came from, and not having to change my discipline too much, but it's nice to also have lots of riders against you and a bit of bar banging as well. Always exciting. The difference between 4-cross and BMX personally, obviously different wheel size, no gears, but often have one brake on a BMX and it's a lot smaller, but you've got 4 riders, and national BMX is really hard, but obviously 4-cross has its own kind of professional series, and yeah, it's just quite different, but a bit more laid back at 4-cross. And yeah, 4-cross is a discipline on mountain bikes with front suspension bikes generally. Got a gate start, 4 riders going down the hill from point to point, so trying to get to the bottom as quick as you can over jumps, rollers and rocks and other things really, just to get to the bottom first. It's quite nerve-wracking on the start gate as ever. Got to try and work out what the gate procedure is and see how fast it's dropping. Every track's different as well, so it can depend on the track a lot as well. But when you're halfway down, it's a great feeling. You're so focused, not another thought in the world. So that's the main reason why I started riding bikes really. It's a great feeling. It's exhilarating, it's my first national win, so it's really big for me, and I've been pushing for it for a year or so. It's just nice to actually get what I feel like I've been working for, like a long hard winter in the gym, and it's kind of paid off here in the sun today, so it's really nice. Yeah, it does. Training's taken over my life quite a lot recently. 3 days a day, well, 3 days in the gym a week. Doing lots of road riding, 15 miles a day, and having general road rides as well. It's really positive training. It's focuses you for the season. When you get to the first race, you don't feel so under pressure because you know you've worked for it. Okay, 4-cross obviously had a big hit recently, being dropped by the UCI. Personally, I feel like BMX is possibly a way to go for a lot of riders, but it'd be nice to see 4-cross come back in a big way. A lot of riders are really devoted to it, and it's their lifestyle, so it'd be nice to see it come back, but it'd be nice to see a few more adverts in local towns, get a bit more of popularity in local towns. Like here today, had a great crowd from down the road, so it's great to get all the locals here, and it's just really good.
I'll give Jordan Lunn 2020 if he can do a back up onto the top of the podium.
I want those shiny handlebars, they look wicked. Everybody's eating out here.
Second place straight away, only Horizon managed to outgate Suzanne Lacey.
This is going to be a battle to the death. Someone's going down in this one.
Looks like she might go.
BMX versus Downhill. Where has she pulled that lead from?
Elliot Manning, Charlie Green second. Only Norris third and Suzanne Lacey fourth.
Final race was a really good race actually. Charlie rides a lot of BMX, got me out the gate, and I was following her down the first straight. Kind of had to wait really until I could find a moment really to pass it. I took two insides and just managed to squeeze in front of her on a corner and just got through. So yeah, it was a really good race. Bit of an adrenaline rush at the end. So yeah, really good fun.
Proof that Chris Roberts will do anything to get his hands on a Saracen. Make some noise for these lovely ladies!
Really good, really happy with it. The final was tough. A little bit scared going into that first corner over these big guys. Had a wicked gate. It's not usually my forte on the gate, but awesome. Led it to the first jump, a little bit squirrely, and then Thomas just had the lead in front. I had to close Beaumont off a little bit, but it was an awesome final, wicked.
For me, the final run was, I would say, really the worst one I've done today, because I had pretty bad gate, but then I somehow made it to get on the first place on the first straight. Then I was just keeping the inside lines, trying to where not the other guys passed me in a turn, so it was all good, you know. Like if I take it like in general, the whole day was perfect, you know, the racing, the big crowd, you know, the weather was super cool, so super stoked about this race. More races like that. Yeah, right now I'm gonna pack my stuff. I'm flying on Tuesday to Czech Republic, and next race is a new 4-cross series called 4-cross Pro Tour. Was just a World Series instead of UCI World Cup, which was the last year. So that's my next stop in Belgium, so can't wait, looking forward for this race. Yeah, hopefully I still have in a plan some of the races from UK series, but we'll see how it's with the other races. Yeah, hopefully I'll get in here in next month.